I think I was in 4th grade. I was on the school bus. I was talking to my friend, and he was just like, "Shut the F up, you effing N-word." Yeah.
A while back, my father and I got into a pretty intense argument, and he told me that he was, ashamed to have me as his son, and that really hit me, hard. And it's, to this day, I still think about that and use that to kind of motivate me to be better and try to build a relationship with him again.
Why aren't you smart enough?
And who said that?
My mother. I was working on math homework, and I was probably in 4th grade, and I couldn't figure out a question. And she straight up asked me that. And now that I have him, I would never say that to my kid, ever.
I was in Mississippi in 1996, a place called Moss Point. A little Caucasian boy with his father called me the N-word inside of McDonald's. The most painful thing anyone has ever said to me. Dad didn't say anything. Matter of fact, it was kind of crazy, because I was more mad at the dad than I was at the little boy.
The most painful thing anyone has ever said to me is, "It's okay, you're gay, but you have time to change that."
Being away from you has been so good for me and my mental health.
I can't spend time with you, Sky. How bad your mental health is makes you just a tiring person to be around.
I don't love you.
I'm no longer in love with you.
Let's just be friends.
I love you, but you're not what I want. I'm not sure if I'm in love with you. It wasn't real.
No one could ever love you. You're too broken. It was kind of a way for him to make me feel trapped in the relationship, because if he could convince me that nobody could ever love me, I would accept what he was giving me, which wasn't love.
It's over? Yeah, like breaking up with me, like they say, like it's over. A few tears fell down, and that's it. I didn't know how to act. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I don't want to start crying out here again.
You should be grateful that I'm even giving you attention, because you're fat and no one will love you anyway. A guy that I was dating tried to go too far on the second date.
You were an accident. My dad, he was playing, but that make a mark in my life. So.
What's the most painful thing someone has said to you?
That I was going to lose my left leg.
You're too loud. Made me feel scared to be myself, and I needed to hide who I am as a person.
I was in 3rd grade, and there was this girl who, I think it was the end of the year, this girl who I liked. I overheard her talking with one of her friends, and it's like, "Oh, do you like Dan?" And she's like, "Oh, no, he's fat." And she didn't know I was there, and she didn't know that I saw it. But it just stayed with me. I remember just being totally crushed.
One of my students asked me why I was even a teacher, because I was failing at my job. I think that might be it. One of my own kids why are you even here?
I didn't know anyone at my new school. I was in 3rd grade, and this boy, his name was Scott, you're watching, he walked by my desk and he tapped my desk to get my attention, and he pointed at me and he said, "You're stupid." And that hurt. I think I cried, and I didn't want to go to school for a while, and the teacher didn't notice, and I always swore I would.
Just growing up, my dad told me that I could never do anything, and that I would never be able to do anything, and I could never leave the house that I grew up in, and I left, obviously, and now I'm doing great things, and I'm helping other people, so I proved him wrong. I've overcome that.
Probably something my dad has said to me, because he said some really not nice things to me before.
Was that your sister that went before you?
That's my sister, yeah. Yeah, we're actually all sisters, we're triplets. So, so she was saying, I'm curious to see what your answer would be, because she might have had a similar answer to me, and my other sister might have a similar answer to us. Actually, no, I think I might change my answer, because, okay, so my mom and I have always been really close, but I went through a hard time when I was like in high school, and she was kind of like the person I leaned on to help me through it. And at one point she was like, I was complaining to her about the thing I was going through. I was sick, I was in the hospital, so that's why I was complaining. It wasn't like my boyfriend broke up with me or whatever. And she was like, God, like, stop complaining, I'm so sick of you. And I didn't expect her to say that, and it made me so upset. And we didn't have the same relationship for like years after that, but I think it hurt me the most because I didn't expect it to come from her, you know? So even though I expect my dad to say some mean shit to me, you know what I mean? Like, he's just kind of, he's just that way, so it doesn't hurt as much, but when it came from her, I was like, that hurt. So that's probably the worst, I would say. I'm sick of you.
I used to have really bad acne, and so I had a lot of scarring, and I remember one day I wanted to work without makeup, and my boss told me, oh, you look like, you know, like you do drugs, like you've been picking at your face. And it was so painful for me, and beyond that point, that's when I became obsessed with makeup. And I couldn't, for a long time, I couldn't go out of the house without makeup. And even now, I still struggle going out of the house with makeup, but I feel like slowly I'm gonna heal from that. And slowly the words will just become meaningless, but they were very impactful to me and still continue to be impactful to me.
I was in kindergarten and I was in love with my kindergarten teacher. I thought she was just the coolest thing. But one of the hall monitors came in to give her a message, and I saw her because I knew the hall monitor, and I said, hi, so-and-so. And then I heard the teacher look at her and say, oh, you know that little black thing? Changed me forever. I didn't like her anymore. It hurt my feelings, but it didn't stop me from loving people.
So I think the most painful thing someone said to me is that my face is fat because I have really big cheeks and I smile a lot. But yeah, they didn't like that. So they were like, your face is fat. So that was kind of hurtful to me because I felt like that was my trademark. Like, you know, my cheeks are my trademark, so.
I hadn't spoken to my dad in about 8 months, so I called him. And he said, he was at work, he works abroad, and he said, I'm at work right now, I'm gonna call you later. And that was about 7 months ago, and I never got a call back, so I'd say in retrospect, that is like a hard pill to swallow, so that would be my answer.
We don't want you around anymore. I was like 13 and I had really cool neighbors that I loved very much, and I couldn't be at home because at home was hard. And they were like my home for me. But then it was just too much for them. They already had a family, and it was too much to take on somebody else who even just hung around. So that was probably the most painful thing I've ever experienced, you know. But it did teach me a lot. It teach me a lot about how making home in myself is good.
My ex-husband was a drug addict, alcoholic, and he was extremely emotionally and mentally and verbally abusive, as well as physically abusive. And he used to tell me all the time that I'm stupid. And that's 100% the most painful thing anyone can say to me, because I pride myself on my intellect and my intelligence, and it's the thing that I think I'm best at. So he knew that was the thing that would get me. So he would say it almost daily. You're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid.
The most painful thing that anyone has ever said to me, I was 12, I had an accident. My grandfather was driving a boat, my leg got hit by the propeller. My grandmother yelled it when they were bringing me up to the back of the house after the accident, and she said, who in the brought her here? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you as well.
I think I do feel better.
Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you want to subscribe to my channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it so you'll get notified every time I put up a new episode. And if you really like my episodes and you have some friends that you think might also like the episodes, it would mean a lot if you shared my episodes with them as well, if you want. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you next week.